All right, welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. Let's go to football now. Match week 29 in the very new Jamaica Premier League ended in the jungle on Monday night, and as we have grown accustomed to, the action left absolutely nothing to be desired. In the curtain raiser, Montego United continued their unbeaten run under the reign of Paul Teague-Davis by edging Chapelton Maroons by a goal to nil. Shanil Thomas, the man on the score sheet for his 11th of the season. Then in the main event involving home team Arnett Gardens and top six chasing Racing United, it was 2-2. Here are the highlights.
Full match highlights. Kelser Anderson, the man in charge. What a fixture it has been. Arnett Gardens driving forward. Initially Warner Brown there, looking to pick up one of his teammates too close to the keeper and forced a save out of Amarian Brown, who had a solid game. Then the handball inside the box by Young Jones. Penalty given by Kelser Anderson, and it was the right decision. The kick initially from Grant, not good enough, but then the follow-up, just a tap-in after the initial save from Tyrone Williams, who he himself had a good game between the sticks for Arnett Gardens. 1-0 after 16 minutes. Grant with his 5th of the season. Arnett continued to come forward, then this, a penalty of their own. Similar incident. Handball this time by Markovich Brown inside the area. Kelser Anderson pointed to the spot, but Marlon Martin, in his 100th appearance for Arnett Gardens, couldn't find the back of the net. Too central with the kick, and a strong left hand by Amarian Brown, who had a big case for man of the match as well. Amarian Brown, he had a couple of really telling saves. That one of the best. Then Fabian Reid, strength inside the area, picking out the top marksman in the Jamaica Premier League, Warner Brown, who put together number 17 on his season. Not the best defending initially, and then Fabian Reid, nice pass to find Warner Brown, just the right weighting, and Brown made no mistake into the far corner. 1-1. That coming in added time in the first half. 45 plus 3, and we were all square. It continued that way for some time until this strike, a brute of an effort from Basco. Look at that, great technique. Initially coming from the corner, Myrie with the assist. Look at that, instep technique, the outside of the right boot. Tyrone Williams stunned, he was in a trance when sitting on the ground. Williams, after beaten by that effort, he could do nothing about it. And Racing had a 2-1 lead in the 87th minute, and must have thought that they had found the winner until this moment. A lapse from Markovich Brown, the captain, should have headed it clear, went with the shoulder, and Shea Smith, who came on as a substitute, picking up just his 2nd goal of the season, using his height to his advantage to head over the hapless Amarian Brown. He could do nothing about it. 90 plus 2, and it was 2-2. Great finish to this fixture of match week 29, and it's...
Well, let's now hear from the coaching staff of both the teams as they spoke with us after the contest.
I mean, I thought we did some good things tonight. And to be honest, I'm pleased with a lot of aspects of the game, and how we play, and some moments that we had, you know, how quickly we moved the ball and kept position, especially in the first half. There are some things that we're trying, and we're preparing for some of the opposition that we think we might meet when we get down to the playoffs. So we're doing different things and different aspects, and to ensure that we find the right and the best combination for Arnett Gardens when situations and circumstances arise.
You have to be disappointed because the 2 goals we conceded, we conceded one in the first half and the half-time break, and in the end of the game we conceded the next one. So it's something to blame them about. So we just have to teach them that now a lot more and see how they take it from there. To be a champion, you have to tighten up in those areas, those minutes of the game. So to be a champion, they have to learn from somewhere. So now we just have to start teach them a lot more on that side and take it from there.
All right, so let's take a look at the results after all the action from that round. Former United table guns 1-1. Goalless between Harbourview and Maligned United. Mount Pleasant with a 3-0 win as they continue their trek unbothered, apparently, at the top of the table. Veer United with a 2-0 win over Humberline, a much-needed win for them in that relegation battle with their fellow Clarendon teams. Waterhouse and Cavalier ending 1-1. Mobay United, of course, clipping Capital Maroons, and of course, as you would have heard before, Arnett Gardens and Racing United ending 2-2. So, as we take a look at the table, Mount Pleasant at the top, and they have a 10-point gap over Arnett Gardens. Montego Bay United, Cavalier, Portman United, and Waterhouse, they complete the top 6, but you can see that Racing United are right there, just outside the playoff spot. Same amount of points as Waterhouse, but they are closing fast. Veer United, Humberline in the relegation zone at the moment. Capital Maroons just outside of it, and Harbourview, of course, looking over their shoulders as well. But yeah, lots to talk about. What a game that was. I'm glad that I chose that game to go to eventually last night. It was a wonderful watch, a wonderful game to call. Disappointed because that strike, and we can take a look at it again, because it deserves to be shown over and over again, that hit from way outside the box. First goal of the season for Javon Basco, and for him to have been audacious enough to try it and execute it was something quite stunning, and it should have been, in their minds, it should have been the winner.
Yeah, it was a type of strike that almost deserves or demands the kind of result that would be a 3-point game for them. But you're right, it was a wonderful strike. You know, he had options as well, because he had a little bit of room. He could have allowed the ball to drop and then strike it. He could have taken another touch to settle over the ball, but he took it on the volley. He took it, he took it aggressively, and that took a wonderful bit of technique to get that one on target. But I suspect he was in a haste to get the shot off, because in a situation like that, defenders are going to come closing you down. So he didn't want to waste any time in getting his shot off. But I'm just thinking that there are a lot of players who would have probably waited until the ball dropped or just taken another touch. Oh, but there was a defender closing in fast. Yeah, he did the right thing. But to execute the strike in the way he did, with the power and the accuracy of the shot, that's one of the best goals I've seen in Premier League football this season for sure.
Oh yeah, and
we've seen some good ones.
We have seen some good ones. I remember Romain Bowes, another midfielder in this racing team, would have hit a similar attempt against Mount Pleasant, and Shaquan Davis would have provided a brilliant save. I think this shot was much better though, because the dip on this one was what got
the goalkeeper had no chance.
Tyrone Williams. Oh yeah,
goalkeeper had no chance.
No chance at all. And I see some people commenting that, you know, the keeper should have done better, but I'm like, no, you think our goalkeepers are invincible, or goalkeepers overall are invincible. They are not. That cannot be saved.
No, that was unstoppable.
First of all, the keeper would have had to know that he was going to take the shot initially to then prepare. He was partially blocked, and by the time he figured out that, hold on, he's really going to try it. Too late, because there was pace on the shot as well.
Yeah, that was unstoppable. Arnett came from behind twice in this game, didn't they? You did say yesterday, and we both agreed that Racing United is a good team to watch.
Oh, yeah.
They're young, they're fast, they're exciting, and they're confident. And Arnett Gardens are one of the best playing teams in the league at the moment. So for Arnett to be forced to rally twice to get a point out of this fixture shows not only the grit of Arnett Gardens, but the quality of a Racing United. And they are now undefeated in 11 games, Racing United, the best unbeaten run in the league at the moment. And they're making a run at a top 6 spot. They did, for a moment, have a top 6 spot, because if they got 3 points here on that wonderful goal, they would have gone ahead of Waterhouse in the number 6 position.
They would have been 2 points ahead. But I saw this racing team for the first time this season when they played Arnett Gardens right here. That match ended 1-1. In that game, they actually took the lead before conceding to a deflected Kimani Arboine strike. So this is a team that really, they've shown their quality this season, and I've said it so many times. They remind me of when Dunby Holden came into the league for the first time, and they played with no fear. It's a similar thing that I'm seeing with this Racing United team. They have just been brilliant, and they play with such confidence. And I tell you what, based on the type of football that I see them play, I just think that they would be a handful when the playoffs come around, and I certainly hope that they make it, because you want to see that kind of football being played. You want to see them take on the likes of a Mount Pleasant or a Waterhouse or a Cavalier with their style of play, especially if all the players are fit, because they have a couple of really good youngsters in their squad as well. But it's been a while that I've been excited about a matchup like this. I knew it was going to be like this, and the game was just something that I'd want to do over and over again.
Two things before we wrap the segment. I want to say something quickly about Warner Brown. I think he's a really good talent.
Yeah.
I heard George Davis on commentary some weeks ago suggest that he has the best first touch of all the forwards playing in the league. And I wouldn't argue with George.
Right.
His first touch is immaculate. His dribbling skills, his ability to shoot, his power, physically.
Yes.
I think Warner Brown is a very special player. And I want to say also quickly that Xavier Gilbert doesn't look overly worried, because they're number 2 in the league at the moment and looking pretty safe to qualify for there's a Warner Brown strike to qualify for the playoffs. I think Xavier Gilbert is in a comfort zone where he's setting himself up and trying to position his team strategically and tactically to take on the teams in the playoff round. And he said something similar, that he's sort of looking at his players and the best composition to tackle some of the opposition they'll face. So although they had been disappointed they didn't win at home last night, I don't think Xavier Gilbert, as the Arnett coach, is overly worried about how things are at the moment.
Piggybacking on that comment on Warner Brown, because we would have covered him while he was at schoolboy football level. And the thing about at St. Andrew Technical, the thing about him is that, yeah, he was injured on quite a few occasions, but when he did play, he had that quality, and that's one of the things that I loved about him. He's added the physical aspect, as you mentioned, in his game, and he has really been absolutely dynamic when he holds on the ball. But yeah, wonderful stuff. The Premier League is getting really exciting, and as we go deeper into the third round and head into the playoffs, we do hope that the best teams are in the top 6. We take a break. Finally, back with more after this. Stay with us.